Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's right, folks. Merry stupid o'clock to one and all. And yes, because, well, reasons, in spite of the fact that I literally made sure to go to bed about around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Which, by the way, Rob, if you wanted to know, that's why I didn't click on the link. I was trying to go to bed super early. And despite of the fact that I got like more than 8 hours of sleep, I am still barely coherent. So, welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and this morning, as always, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we go ahead and get going, the usual disclaimers. First off, as always, you're going to see this train wreck of a report linked in the description box alongside the massive archive compiled by Autistic Hoya, also known as Lydia Brown, the templates, sign your name, click on your center. Let's go ahead and get rid of adversive punishments, also known as being punished for being disabled, and improper restraints in schools. Also, we have the ever present change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Sign it, share it, you know the deal, alright? Now, as usual, the usual trigger warning when we are discussing the JRC, you are going to hear vivid descriptions of, as well as sometimes catch clips of video surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have headphones, use them. Also, folks, it is stupid o'clock. I am barely coherent and holding on to sanity here. So, if I stumble over any words this morning, stare off into space, or obscenities come flying out of my mouth, which, let's face it, talking JRC, quote unquote, Human Rights Committee here, my apologies in advance. All right, we're going to talk about the powers of the so-called Human Rights Committee at the JRC. You remember those folks who take the students' complaints, tell the students why they are wrong in spite of the fact that they are right, who tell them it's not against their human rights because it's in their program, and then proceed to cover it up and make sure that the parents are told nothing. Anyways, moving on. The Human Rights Committee monitors and reviews the authorization and use of behavior modification interventions proposed for students, the authorization and use of emergency restraints and other limitations on movement, the conduct of research at JRC, means utilized by JRC to inform students, staff, and families of student rights, and means utilized by JRC to train students, staff, and families regarding these rights. This is such a load of crap. My God. My God. Notice that the kids don't get to agree to shit. It's all the parents and what they want. Resist the urge, resist the urge, resist the urge. The Human Rights Committee also provides students with opportunities to exercise these rights and policies and procedures for compliance with DDS regulations. So they say. But remember what they say about any complaints about the students. They're dismissed. No investigation is done. Nothing's done about it. Again, folks, this is their smoke and mirrors routine. They want to look like they are beyond and above reproach when in actuality, they think nothing, absolutely nothing, of completely disregarding anything that the students say. It's all used, it's a cover up, folks. If you can't see that, then I don't know what drugs you're on, but, sober up, seek help. There are two separate and equal human rights committees. Oh dear God. One which focuses solely on cases involving students from New York State, and one which focuses on all other student cases. Ah, but why New York State? Because New York State some time ago started calling this school on its shit. Their head's not entirely out of their ass, but they began to question. So, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to blow smoke up New York State's ass so that they think that they are important and that we're not doing the same things to their kids that we're doing to the others. Yeah. It's all PR, folks. The committee develop operating rules and procedures as they deem necessary to accomplish its purpose. Cover up. The committees may appoint subcommittees to perform specific functions. I know how committees work, for God's sake. Please stop talking to us like we are stupid. Members agree that frank and candid discussion between JRC staff and members of the committees is essential. Again, who's the members of these committees? People who get their paychecks from the JRC. You have to forgive me if I don't think their opinion in any way is not bought and paid for. A decision to approve a behavior modification treatment plan must be by majority vote. Again, two things on this one. Two things. For the love of God, why in the name of God do you keep using this absolute bonkers idea that people with neurological disorders need behavior modification treatments for conditions that are not behavioral conditions? They're neurological. It's in the brain. You can use behavior modification, or as I prefer to call it, brainwashing, all the hell you want to. You are not going to change by a behavior modification plan exactly how the brain cells fire, okay? It's never going to happen. It is beyond insane that they use behavioral methods to treat a neurological condition. None. None. No behavioral plan is ever going to change how the neurons fire. Just saying. God, this is what causes burnout. Review of meeting minutes revealed that the committees meet once a month and discuss the prior month's restraints, as well as specific student programs in progress in order to approve individual plans. What they mean by progress, folks, is how far is that kid now traumatized that they have literally become a robot that just obeys out of fear. And when that fear is removed by removing the electrodes, guess what happens? Behavioral modification and fear of punishment does not change how the neurons fire. Makeup of committee. The committee consists of a doctor or nurse on JRC payroll, a psychologist or master levels practitioner with expertise in intellectual disability and developmental disabilities, mental illness, or applied behavioral analysis. Of course they're going to have it be ABA. Of course they're going to have someone who's literally trained to teach us how to mask and pretend to be someone else every goddamn day of our lives. Can't have us ever thinking that we're ever good enough just as we are, right, JRC? Look at this. And it's a catch-all. It's a catch-all. You are really applying someone who may have absolutely zero training with a specific disability. Yeah. Is it incompetence on the highest level? Oh dear God, an attorney, law student, or paralegal with relevant experience. If you are an attorney, law student, or paralegal, and you sign off on this shit, you should have your license revoked and should never be allowed to work in any kind of law, especially ADA law. At least 3 clients receiving services or supports provided, purchased, or arranged by DDS or family of such clients. Yeah, you're not actually going to have one of the students be on one of those committees. You're lying out your ass. Oh, but we'll have the parents. I hate to be the breaker to bust your bubble there, but the reality is, folks, not every single parent is looking out for what's best for their child in spite of what shit lies they tell themselves. They're looking at what's best for them. Listen to what these parents say in their testimonials. I got my life. It's me, my. Never about the actual person who has to endure this shit. Moving on. The committee which handles New York student cases consists of a New York State education appointee, a JRC parent chairperson, of fucking course. Yay, we have someone under that Jim Jones Kool-Aid influence. Fantastic. A nutritionist. If y'all have a nutritionist and you all are still starving students, good God. A licensed psychologist, a nurse practitioner, and a lawyer. A nurse practitioner? Why not a doctor? The committee, which handles all non-New York student cases, consists of a JRC parent chairperson, of course, a nurse, paid by JRC, a clinician, paid by JRC. Oh no, not associated with JRC? Really? Really? Who's the clinician? Who's the clinician? Because if I'm visiting Massachusetts to go see the folks on my dad's side, and I just so happen need to go to a clinic, I want to make sure to avoid that one at all costs. At all costs. Any clinician that will sign off on this shit does not deserve to work in healthcare or in mental health. Deserves their license revoked and to be placed firmly behind bars. 2 JRC parent members, of course, and a director of human rights for DMR. Notice not one person in there is someone with the actual disability who's a self-advocate. You notice that? I find it glaringly obvious. You want to know what's different out here in Missouri? For every day program out there, for any committee that oversees them, every single last one of them has at least one self-advocate on the committee who is not being paid by that center. Just saying. Progressive state my ass. The committee who has no financial or administrative interest in the JRC elects a chairperson. Bullshit! The majority of your committee members are your damn employees. No financial interest? Really? Minutes of meetings are kept and copies are filed with DDS. Oh yes, that makes me feel more comfortable. The committee can consult with JRC's peer review committee members for assistance. Committee members are not expected to have expertise to propose treatment procedures. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so the peer review committee are not expected to have expertise to propose treatment procedures. But they get to sign off on it, though. These people who have no fucking idea about treatment plans. Dear God, I know more than this committee. Committee members are invited to participate in the committee by either JRC or committee itself. However, JRC makes the final decision with regards to membership. There it is. Let's highlight that here. Well, it won't let me, but JRC has to approve of every single person in there. You really think they're going to pick someone who is going to sit there and tell them that they're insane? Yeah. The level of corruption when it comes to this school and the fact that people just go along with it is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. The terms for members is indefinite. Oh my God. So they don't even get a chance to change out the committee. Okay, so let's get into this here. So my main complaint was there's no outside persons, right? Then you have this judge. Oh, they do, though. They do have clinicians that are from the outside. Judge, what was that word again? The JRC must approve. Must approve. If they do not work for the JRC has to approve of them. How does that work? If you don't have someone that is truly outside, if you don't have a person that comes in that is not handpicked by the JRC, you know what I'm saying? They're going to sign off on whatever the hell the JRC wants. Why? Because they're handpicked by them. And this is allowed to happen. This is the level of corruption we are dealing with. It blows my mind how this school continues to get away with this. Time and again, they have managed somehow to corrupt the entire fucking state. The entire state. And to corrupt freaking New York State. This is insane. I have never found in all my years a place that is allowed to have this level of influence be able to corrupt on the same level as this school. Kitten, what? Mommy's trying to talk. It's alright. You're okay. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. It's alright. I don't have an edit button. You're alright. He does this in the morning, folks. It's mind-blowing. The corruption is from this school goes top to bottom. And no one ever says anything or does anything about it. And on those just mind-blown notes, me and Mr. Mew here, we're going to go ahead and close you out for this morning. Now, we don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. Me and Photobombing Mew do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. Photobombing Mew.